Hey, good morning. We are going to do something a little different this time in this episode. We are going on an excursion, a trip. And so today we're going to show you all kinds of ways that we get ready for a trip, how we get the Jeep all hooked up to the back of the Magnitude, which we lovingly call Maggie, and off we go to day one in Page, Arizona. So hang tight. Here we go. Have a good one. As you can see, the Jeep is ready to be hooked up to the Magnitude. Got the bikes, they're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna do some riding up in Zion. Hey, I think this is a great time to stop for a second. Take a look at today's Boomer Brain Buster. It's all about RVs. There is such a big thing about RVs right now. Let's see how RV savvy you are. Are you ready? Let's see if you're RV-alicious. Are you guys ready to play Boomer Brain Buster RV style? Well, here we go. I'm going to test your knowledge on RVs. Question number 1. RVs have been in existence for A, 135 years, B, 113 years, C, 93 years, or D, 76 years. If you said 113 years, you are right. Actually, since the Ford Model T came out in 1908, it only took a couple more years and the first RV was born. And as you can see, they look like little houses on wheels. RV historians have cited that 1910 was the beginning of the RV industry. Number 2, how many American families own a recreational vehicle? Is it A, 500,000, B, 6.2 million, C, 8.9 million, or D, 12 million? If you said 8.9 million, you are absolutely right. The recreational vehicle industry believe that 8.9 million households own an RV, and I think during the COVID, between 20 and 21, RVs were flying off the shelf faster than they could keep up with. Okay, number 3. According to research, the average RVer is A, single male, 25 years old, B, married, 48 years old, C, married, 65 years old, or D, single female and 35 years old. If you guessed married, 48 years old, you are absolutely correct. According to the research, the typical RV owner today is a 48-year-old married homeowner with an annual household income of about $62,000. So, where do you think a lot of it is spent? It is spent on travel. Number 4. The average RV owner travels A, 1 week a year, B, 2 weeks a year, C, 3 weeks a year, or D, 1 month a year. If you picked 3 weeks, you are correct. In fact, since there's 52 weeks in a year, a lot of RV owners will literally rent their RVs out and make a little money, maybe pay the payments, pay it off a little quicker. So if you can only use it 3 weeks a year, that could be an option for you. What is not a real RV thing? Is it A, Disney docking, B, Wally docking, C, boondocking, or D, mooch docking? If you said Disney docking, you are right. Actually, Wally docking is staying at a Walmart overnight. There are many Walmarts that will allow RVers to stay overnight to rest, but you need to ask permission first. Then you've got boondockers, who are the ones that go out into the, desert, anywhere that is not hooked up to water and sewer and electricity. This is boondocking. Mooch docking is where you are staying with a friend and you plug into their house. So how'd you do? Did you do okay? Should you go out and buy a brand new RV? I bet you can go to the Cardinal Stadium and I bet they'll sell you one. Anyway, we are now heading off to Page, Arizona. Let's take a look. Come along with us to Page, Arizona. We're on the 17. We are in Flagstaff right now, and we are going to be turning onto 89 North to Page. Okay, we are going to make a right-hand turn here on Indian Route 20 or Navajo Route 20, which is going to be a little quicker to get to Page. It is a 27 miles of going through the Navajo reservation, and you'll notice that when you go through this, you'll see like an arrowhead, and it'll say Indian and then number the route. Well, these are Indian routes, and actually they through Indian territory and through their communities, but they do have history to them. They used to be actually real Indian routes that they either went hunting or trade or used those for different things. Now, Navajo 20 or Indian Route 20 was a dirt road just up until 2013, when there was a huge road collapse in Highway 89. So they had to figure out some way that they can get a road to go through to connect to Page, because there were so many communities out there that are small that depended on 89 to get them where they needed to go. So they worked out a deal with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Navajo Nation, with ADOT, everyone that that they could. And what they did is they paved this Copper Mine Road. Now before that, this was dirt, like I said, and they had animals that would cross the roads, so you had to be very careful. So while they were building it, you could only travel during the day, and the speed limits were like 25. So this was a road you had to be very careful. But they completed it. They did a really good job. They did it very quickly. They opened it up. It's very efficient. And the speed limit is, I believe, 45 miles an hour now. They had to also put up fencing and cattle guards and that kind of thing to keep animals from wandering into the street. It took them only a few months, really, before they opened up. Not only did they have to put up fences and cattle guards, they also had to put in the center line rumble strips and striping, and it took 5,000 truckloads of asphalt to pave the way. We are now coming into the town of Page. Page, Arizona is a town of 7,531, mostly males, ladies, if you were looking for a boyfriend maybe. Where we're going to be turning right now is into the campsite that we're going to stay at, which is the Lake Powell campgrounds. We're going to stay one night, and then off we are going to go to Zion. Okay, we're taking you to Glen Canyon and Lake Powell. So we're going down into the Glen Canyon area. And at one time, according to John Wesley Powell, Glen Canyon was one of America's, maybe the world's, greatest wonders. We are driving over the Glen Canyon Dam now. In 1963, the diversion tunnels of the Glen Canyon Dam were shut, and this caused the waters of the Colorado River to back up, and it created Lake Powell, 186 miles of backed up Colorado water. The dam was to provide water to the southwest, but has since undermined the very objective that it set out because of the massive collateral damage. The animals that lived in that area before the dam were lost, and they suspect 79 species of plants, 189 species of birds, 34 species of mammals, and a cultural treasure of ancient ruins, 3,000 of them. Lake Powell and Lake Mead reservoirs together have been hovering about 50% of capacity. Scientists predict that they probably will never fill again. Well, it's time for us to leave. In goes the slide, and then up goes our stabilizers, and off we go to Zion. Buddy, how'd you like that? Well, that was our beginning of our adventure. Actually, we have another part, so you've got to stay tuned. Next Sunday, turn on the next episode, and we are going to Zion. Oh man, Zion is beautiful. So, on that note, please take care of yourself. Please learn something every day. Hug a teacher. Peace out. Love you. Down, Gracie. Down.